Yes, we are back. Story time with legendary Jerry. I am Jerry Clark, and this is my incredible, sometimes cool, but beautiful co-host.
Hey, don't
Miss
start
Jamie
Shirley.
Page.
What's going on?
And as you see, we have, I'm going to try, as I usually do, to give her the proper introduction. The incredible, beautiful, talented, Grammy Award winning,
Fine as hell.
but thank you, Mya. Give it up. Story time with legendary Jerry.
Yes, what an
We
honor.
have my friend Mya.
Hey, Jerry.
How have you been, young queen?
I'm good. How are you? And how are you?
Wow, we're wow.
We are ecstatic to have you on the show. Actually,
excited.
when I found out you were coming on, I had to go get shaved up and all that shit. I said my old partner coming in, so I gotta at least look.
You got cleaned up?
I got a little cleaned up.
All right now.
But don't feel special
Put on
because I
the
do.
good cologne? You put on the good
Nah, I
cologne?
ain't put no cologne. Probably some of that old Spice 1978 Old Spice. Little Mya, because she a
Because
vegan.
you guys go way back.
We go not way back, but we a
I
little.
mean, how'd y'all even meet?
In the studio.
Okay.
Of course.
Yes, in the studio. Top 40 Studios through
Here
Dada
in Atlanta.
Mills.
Yep. Shout out
Here
to
in
Dada.
ATL when I was recording the new song that is actually about to come out on Monday. Well, it just came out Monday.
That was.
It just came out Monday
You
because
was
it's Wednesday
Hold
today.
on, you were recording that song
When
back
we met.
then?
We met in
So
2011.
you've been sitting on these type records for that long?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yes, that's crazy, right?
That's
Wow.
not amazing about music. Like, it's still relevant.
Pull your mic in some, Jay.
Timeless
Thank you.
songs.
Yes.
Now, before we jump off into all, because you have a lot of history and we have a lot to talk about from a music standpoint, but you just recently did a dog show. It's called Exotic Bully. Like,
Yes.
tell everybody what is that? Like, what does that entail?
Well, this past Saturday, July 21st, I partook in the Exotic Bully Expo. It's called Trap and Stack.
Okay.
And basically, there are breeds of dogs all over, but this particular breed is celebrated, and it is the Exotic Bully. They have a stigma attached to them that they're very violent or they're dangerous because of how they look. But they're the sweetest dogs in the world, and a lot of them offer healing for those that are suffering from depression or getting judged for whatever it might be, ex-convicts, etc. These dogs in particular provide a lot of that, and they're being celebrated at this particular expo, which brings the community out. And Dada was talking to me about this before I even signed up and enrolled, and he said, hey, there is going to be the African community there as well as Mexicans, and the stigma about us together is that we don't get along, but this particular event brings us together for our love for animals, and everything flows, so it's about bringing the community together, bringing everybody together. It's a family affair. It was a family event. All ages were welcome. And a part of family is having that gel, and for me in my life it's always been an animal. For our families, it's always been an animal that has provided some, I would say, therapy and some love and some vibrancy in the home.
Well,
if it's not a child,
they say
they are children.
Pets are your best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the children of the house, and they bring all the good energy. So, Exotic Bully Expo took place this Saturday at the Gwinnett County Fair
In Atlanta, and I heard it was incredible.
Yeah,
Like, packed
fairgrounds, outdoors events. Yeah,
Yeah, see,
families.
you rock with dogs, but people that don't know you rock with cats. You just started rocking with cats.
I adopted my first cat in 2008 when I was working with this animal league called North Shore Animal League. They're the world's largest adoption agency and animal rescue organization in the entire world. So I was at their shelter to see what they were all about, and the hairstylist lady that was with me has a cat, and she lives in New York City. And I had just moved to New York, and she was like, oh, you need a cat. I'm like, are you serious? I am afraid. I'm terrified of cats because I got attacked one day.
A cat attack?
Yeah, a cat
I've been
attacked
attacked by
me.
some cats.
A cat. Okay, Jerry.
All right.
You are on timeout. I think
Right.
you need to face that corner over there.
I'm just
Cats can be vicious though.
Oh, they can definitely
Yeah.
be
They
vicious.
can be.
and they're sneaky. I had 2 cats. They're sneaky.
Yeah, you just can't predict their behavior. So I adopted one.
So
Okay.
you got
This
so
is
you
the
got over
only
your
way.
fear of cats. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they recommended that I choose the one that's most mellow. And
Okay.
that was his name. I
Mellow.
named him
Mellow.
Mellow. And he proved to be everything I thought he would be. He
I
was
love
he
it.
was really a dog. He ate with the dogs. His behavior was like a dog. But then once in a while he would
But to
turn-
overcome that fear,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. So I love cats now because of Mellow.
So
R.I.P..
we have to R.I.P. to Mello.
Yeah.
We have to, Jamie. This is the last time I'm gonna tell you to pull this mic up, man.
It doesn't
And
reach
you
any
see, You see
further.
how she don't listen to me?
It
I
doesn't
can't
reach any further,
Okay, well you're gonna have to
sweetheart.
scoot your chair. I know you want to be. You want me to here?
doesn't
Let's.
reach.
Maybe she want us to
It's-
scoot. You want
I
to scoot
mean,
over
what do
that
you want
way?
me to
This is
do?
this is what goes on StoryTime
Yeah,
with
what do you
Legendary
want us to
Jerry.
do
You
when
see,
it doesn't reach
I
all
done-
the way?
I didn't point it to her 3 times about the damn mic.
You think I didn't try to pull it over?
God, dog. I know
You-
you want to be close to my. I
I
want to be
mean,
close
but
to
you
it
didn't
too.
think that was the first thing I did when we got in here.
Jeez. Anyway, Maya, you see it.
See what I
This is
gotta
how
deal with?
this is how our show
boy.
goes. So look,
Sheesh.
Maya, we have to talk about, of course, the music.
Okay.
You have been self-sustained for a long time, meaning you have your own label, you put out your own music independently, and a lot of people, like when the Grammy nomination came, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
The recent one. I'm sorry because you won one, but you were just nominated this year, correct?
In 2017.
I'm sorry. I'm last year. But I heard people like, and I heard in the media and just they're like, man, Maya, where has she been? I mean, she's been putting out music, but that just go like you really like from an independent standpoint, you've been dropping albums and putting out music, and it hasn't stopped. Just because you left a major label, it didn't stop. How is that being like self-sustained all the way around? Because I know you, like you have your hands and you wear a lot of hats. Like when it comes to booking, you get a lot of emails directly to you. You're not a one-woman show because I know you have a team, but you're as close to one in a man's industry like what we're in this music industry. For you to, that says a lot about a businesswoman and your characters as far as how you roll, as far as like just keeping everything intact with your label and all that. And how has that been over the past? Because when was the last time you were signed to a major label?
I left the major label system at the end of 2007 and started
Wow.
Planet 9 at
Wow.
the top of 2008 and released my first album in December of 2008.
10 years by yourself.
Independently. Yeah, so this is the 10th
props to
anniversary
you.
of
Yeah.
Planet 9 and the
Wow.
Big
ninth
props.
independent project.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's big props.
Ninth independent project this year, 10-year anniversary. It's been a learning experience, a learning curve, being independent, coming from the major system. But yay, I have a lot of things that drive me. Family, but also the love of music. And I'm really passionate about it. It's the one thing that I can't stop doing because that's the one thing that's just a part of who I am. It's in my blood.
Yeah.
You
Of
know,
course. Well,
my life
keep
is
going.
better when music is in it, and I'm a creative person. So if I'm not out there grinding and hustling, then I'm actually in the creative process in the studio, learn how to engineer. Just because, hey, when you're independent, you have to watch every nickel, dime, penny, cent.
Damn sure
And
do.
empower yourself so that you can be self-sufficient and survive and thrive. Yeah. And
So you're hands on with everything from yes.
yeah, like I draft all the contracts, the production
See,
deals.
I didn't even know that.
The publishing split sheets, do the negotiations for
That's what's
shows,
up.
train interns, road management. Half the time I go into cities and find dancers and choreograph them. Spend
Yeah, I know
days
that.
there. If the budget doesn't allow for my main crew, it doesn't matter where it is in the world. I care about presentation if humanly possible, and my days allow that. Because I want art to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Do the best I can with what I have to work with.
Now,
So
go ahead.
I was going to say, so being your own label, do you have other artists on your label, or do you plan
Not
to have
yet.
other artists? You
Yes.
plan to?
I definitely would love to be in the artist development space and focus on girls. Guys are welcome, but I know that girls need, I think, a lot of guidance in this game. And I think I've been able to navigate safely and still have a passion for what I do. Nothing's tampered my love for music, but it is tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky out here, so I know that.
And that's pretty dope because, there's a lot of backlash always with women. They always try to put us against each other, especially I see in like the music industry, they try to put women against each other. And for you to say that, oh, I want to have this space for women, that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
And
look over my girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. With what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have a boot camp and classes and self-esteem and spirituality.
Which is needed.
It's
Yes.
all needed.
Very much key.
Well, if I wasn't tone deaf, I would definitely.
because you definitely are tone deaf. And you mentioned a minute ago, Mya, about you said the music being in your blood, and you meant that literally because, me and we've had a lot of discussions about, your dad. We just talked a minute ago about he's still out playing.
He's still out there.
He's still touring and gigging. What type of impact was that?
Gigging.
Yeah,
You
gigging.
said the right word.
That's the gigging.
That's the word I grew up with.
Yeah, gigging.
I got a gig tonight.
So growing up in that type household with another creative, and I know how close you are with your dad. What type of impact did that have to make you want to? Because you started off in dance and just creatively. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dance, tap, but to see your father gigging. Is that something that you sat back as a kid and was like, hey, I got the talent, I can dance, I have the voice, and how much did he put into that? Like to be like, you know what, my daughter, she really got it. She got that it factor.
That's so funny because when I was 4 years old, I heard my father sing in church. I think for the first time it resonated, and he was singing a gospel song, Easter Eve. That's when I knew that I would be singing for the rest of my life. Not necessarily a recording artist, but that I would be singing in some capacity because it called my spirit. It was the chords and the gospel music that impacted me. And then his voice on top just made me want to cry. And I didn't know what that was about at 4 years old.
Yeah.
So it was a calling. It moved me. I couldn't articulate what that was. So that was the first experience that I had. I knew that my father was gigging in nightclubs and doing his thing and corporate gigs and shows and weddings and all that kind of stuff, but I never got to see because I was a kid. So I wasn't impacted by that, but I was impacted by the music that was in my living room every day. Neighbors used to complain because he would have rehearsals in my living room. Man, we were living in an apartment at the time, and they would rehearse. And so we have neighbors underneath us, next door to us. Complaints all day long.
This dude right here, he gotta fucking chill, man. Shit, we're trying to go to sleep.
Right.
Shit.
But it was nice because I remember every musician taking time and teaching me, whatever they could. I would sit on the drummer's lap, Janelle, and he would teach me drum patterns, and I was always intrigued by that. So that's just a part of my upbringing.
Yeah.
So do you play more? How many instruments how many instruments do you play?
One I actually learned.
Okay.
And I went to school for and got into school for a music school. Violin.
Okay.
Was my instrument. But my mom had me take piano lessons from my grandfather, who is a pianist and a classical musician. He orchestrates music for orchestras.
Wow.
He passed away.
So it's really in your
It's in the blood.
Like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
through
in the
your
blood.
family.
Yeah. And then I wanted to play drums.
Yeah.
But my parents wouldn't let me because of the practice hours. So I chose the violin instead. Yeah. So it was just a part of my life and childhood. It's the music that keeps me going in the journey because that's what I love to do. When you love something, you just go and you find a way to do it.
So when it was time because you were young when you got signed, like how did that all come about? Who came? Because you were signed at University Records. How did that all come about? Was because the rumor was that Cisco found you.
No, I auditioned.
For a minute.
I auditioned before I met Cisco.
Okay.
Before Drew Hill was actually out. I was in high school in my senior year, and 2 people showed up in my living room, and I was asked to come downstairs. And those 2 people were the CEOs
Hawk Islam
and Lita Rosario of University Music Entertainment based in Washington, D.C., which was an independent label that signed Drew Hill
sure did
at the time, and Pure Soul, which was a gospel group, 4 girls. And so they were looking for individual or solo acts and a female at that time. But I was still in high school. My parents said, look, she has to finish school, period. She's enrolled to go to College Park, Maryland University. And we got that going on next year. And legally, I couldn't sign anything until I was 18. So I started working on my first album when I was 16 in high school,
Damn.
just demos, but I officially started working on the album, actual songs that made the cut, while I was going to college.
At UM.
Not knowing what I wanted to major in.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was in speech communications as a major.
But once that album fucking took off and blew up,
It came out the following year in 1998.
you was gone. I mean,
As a
not when I
test.
say you left University of Maryland and it was time to hit the road, and the rest is
I had to choose.
yeah.
And it was tough, but I knew that I would kill it if I was given the opportunity, because I was already an entertainer. You know, I was
Yeah.
already doing lots of shows. And so it was a chance, but I was also a test, because it's crazy. Interscope signed me, but technically not signed me until after my first album came out. So they put the album out. They were a rap and rock label at the time, and I was their very first R&B artist as a test to see if they even wanted to go in that direction.
Well,
in between
so
Marilyn
what is
Manson and Death Row,
Yep.
that's where I
So
was
when you say test, because that's interesting. So what does that mean? So there's like no dotted line that you sign on. It's just like, oh, well, we're just gonna test the waters, and if it
test
happens,
the waters.
it happens. And
We'll make the investment to see where it goes, but we're not sure about R&B. So this is our test to see if we want to even entertain R&B.
so they
at our
like
label.
financially wise though.
Financially, they
right,
showed
okay.
up, but also the independent label that I was signed to in DC, you know, they were a part of the artist development. Drew Hill was signed to them.
Right.
That was my camp. That was my production camp. We all created together in the studio for the first album. So we delivered the goods. Interscope was the one that said yes. There were some no's. We don't get this. We already have
sure.
female artists over here. Interscope was like, this is odd. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And it happened.
It sure did.
And then after my first album came out,
Because the first one,
I
platinum.
signed to them.
The first album went platinum, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
After my album came out, I signed. Technically.
I know you did.
What was that relationship like with Cisco?
It was cool. We
Yeah.
all worked in the studio together. Drew Hill,
Yeah.
Drew Hill, they played instruments. They did vocal production, lyrics. And so we were all in Atlanta, by the way. We did my first album mostly at Silent
Did you?
Sound. Yeah,
Wow,
I spoke to
I
Daryl
didn't-
Pearson, by the way. I'm not Daryl Pearson, Daryl Simmons.
Yeah, Daryl
We
Simmons.
used his studio, Silent Sound Studios, to knock that album out. And then
Interesting.
Daryl Pearson from Baltimore that worked with Jodeci and Timberland and that whole camp, Missy, he did a lot of records on the album as well and oversaw the music production while Drew Hill and I wrote the records.
Are you still in touch with them? Are you
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
We've actually been performing over the last year and a half together, and Cisco and I just did a 20th anniversary performance at the House of Blues in Orlando.
Oh, nice.
This year.
Nice.
And I wore the outfit from the video.
No.
And I fit.
Hold on, you can
I
still.
fit it.
But and this was when last year.
This year.
That's because you're not eating meat.
This year. Well,
Oh.
no.
I'm joking.
I had to remove the pasta from my diet.
Oh, there you go.
Is that what it was?
That's
The
what it
pot- is
was.
that's
That pasta, that rice, and potatoes, and
And what
French
else?
fries.
And
grits.
toxic people, toxic things.
Well, that's
Like, you don't-
that road food
why you-
though too.
All that.
That's that road on the road food.
Yeah.
That go-to food.
What was that one thing over the years that you said, being in this music industry, that you could just that made you want to pull back? Like at times when you're like, is this really, I love singing, I love the music aspect, but whether it was business, because I mean, you're fly, you're pretty young, young woman, and whether in this music entertainment industry period, just men, they gonna be savage, they gonna come, they trying to get some ass and all that. I'm sure you encountered that a lot being in this industry. Did it just come to a point, not just that in particular, but other things where you was like, you know what, this shit right here, maybe this is not for me?
When my album got leaked in 2007, it accidentally got released, actually, when the release date changed. That was devastating because I spent a lot of my own money investing in flying and car services, hotels, per diems, and studio time, engineering, production fees, because I believed in something that maybe the label didn't at the time. So it was an investment. It was my time. It was part of my soul. But it happened.
Was it
for
an
a
inside job? It
reason.
had to be, because if
No. When you change the release date because you're unsure of marketing and you don't know if the single is should be the single beforehand. So they wanted to try another single, push the release date back 4 times. And that happened a lot with other artists as well. But there's one territory in the world that's ahead of us by a day, and that's Japan and New Zealand.
Oh, excuse me.
And when they pulled it back, that was the one territory that had already put it out. And so once it's out everywhere online, whether it's in Japan or Australia. Once it's online,
that's one thing
that's
about
accessible to the world. And then it's leaked. So it shows up on YouTube and other platforms. And technically now your album is out in the universe. You've delivered the album. And you're owed your money for your back end advance. So you can either fight for it in court and spend the same amount of money or more, just trying to get the money that's owed to you, and then all of that energy and time.
And like, you say that was the one thing, one of the at the top that really fucking hurt.
It hurt bad. I was in tears, but there was also expectation from the fans because they were waiting months and months and months, and this was a new label that was actually R&B with a legacy, Motown, you know, that understood, you know, how to market R&B. Interscope was a great label. But I was also being turfed off to other executives, like with Geffen or A&M.
So it wasn't pretty much hands-on with Jimmy Iovine.
No, and Jimmy is a genius.
He sure
but
is.
Jimmy always was clear. He was like, R&B is not my thing. I'm kind of lost with that. I do rap and I do rock, you know. So he never really knew the proper hands to put me in. And it was a learning curve because I was a test, and that was not really their thing. But they were great at what they did. You know.
Yeah, and you said it. Jimmy Iovine is a
beast
genius.
And a beast.
He's a genius.
Yeah, so that was just my story. That was my journey.
Yeah.
It was devastating. So I pulled back, not to stop music, but to try to reconfigure what I was used to, and that was the independent environment.
And is that what prompted you to move independent?
I said, I'm going to get a studio. It has to be in my house. I got to be able to create 24/7, you know, and invest in me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to provide this missing void to my fans that expected. I'm not going to let them down, because the story was spun as if I was some lazy artist that blew $2 million at the record label. You know how
of
people.
Course.
And I'm not that girl. Like I'm investing my own money.
Do you want to go back to a major label?
I would love to go back to a major label with my label Planet 9 as in the forefront. You know, I would do everything independently. Pay for my
with everything
songs,
that you've done, Mya. I'm shocked that the majors haven't.
No.
It's not many left, but
that's why I'm putting out all these projects to set up the stage and make sure that my fans, just in case another leak or accidental release happens, y'all can't say I didn't give you an archive of great music. There will be 10 projects from Planet 9 before I entertain the system again. But when I entertain the system, I just want to entertain it in a way where it's Planet 9 / because I'll still be doing everything I've been doing for the last 10 independent years. But let me get your radio budget, please. Let me get them video dollars.
And that marketing
please.
budget,
and
marketing budget, shawty.
Hey,
there
you know?
You go.
So
we got fly. You'd have brought fly. We never had no fly in
Fruit flies.
Mya, is there any artist that you would love to work with? That's maybe
who you want to collab with?
A lot of artists. So many. I just
ran right now. Like
I just ran into Wiz Khalifa.
If you go into the studio right now, tomorrow,
India Ari on a songwriting tip. I think she's a genius. She's a beautiful musician. I love her lyrics. They move me. They make me cry. They make me feel. I like artists. I love artists like that. I would love to write with a female, and she would be my first pick for that reason. Janelle Monáe, amazing.
Yes.
I like Andre 3000. He's a genius in the studio.
Yes, he is.
Instrumentalist, musician. I would entertain Teddy Riley because he's a musician and his production is still killer.
Shout out to Teddy Riley. Crazy. He's coming up on the show. He's coming up on StoryTime with legendary Jerry.
Performance artist. Drake, you know, love
What
his
about
swag.
production? You work with a lot of producers from Hard Work to Timbaland, Polo. What producer right now do you want to get back in with, or one that you haven't gotten in with that you want to get in with?
Jam and Lewis. I want to get in with them.
Legends.
I would love to
Legacy.
work with Kanye West. Who else? Danger. Like a lot of folks that I've worked with are just talented
Now on this
musicians.
album that's out now, you got some big time producers and writers. You got Mavelle, she's incredible.
Incredible.
Hard work. I mentioned him. You got Los the Maestro.
Los the Maestro McKinney.
So with you being, how did you still have the great relationships? Of course, you just pick up the phone and call all these producers and songwriters because you still got the big name producers and songwriters attached to your project, and that's hard a lot of times when you're not associated with a major and you don't have those major budgets.
Yeah. There are great people in this world and people that believe in you
Mm-hmm.
and are willing to work with you because of your passion and your talent, your commitment, and the business that you do, which is fair.
You damn
and
right.
there's different
And
type
your
of
time
business.
too. I mean, not saying you're old, but your legacy already is like, whoa, like
Well,
you came out when you were 16, right?
First album, 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
You're 30. Can I say your age?
No.
Yes, you can say my age.
Well,
It's
I'm
a blessing
42.
to be alive.
Right, I'm 42. So shoot.
I'll be 39 in October.
Right, and you look amazing, and so
Damn,
you
man,
already
about
have
to
a
be 40.
catalog. Yeah,
That's a wonderful thing.
like come on.
Yeah, I'm proud of my age. Like, women always shy away from that. No, embrace it.
I'm-
It's
That's what
another
you hear.
layer of
Yeah,
wisdom.
that's why I
I'm
asked.
so you. That's why I said no.
sexy.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't shy away from it, so
I like it.
that's why.
What's next on the acting? Because the last time me and you spoke, you were in L.A. working on a movie, and I know that you've had some acting roles, and you seem very passionate about it. Are there any? Do you want to get more involved in as far as more acting roles? And if so, are there some things on the horizon that you're working on that you're putting in place? I know it is. I can look at your face the way you look. You. Because and the thing is, you're a good actress. You are. I mean, have you wanted to get more involved in how you just right now you're like, okay, I'm going to concentrate on this music, and then I'll switch lanes and get into the acting.
If a project comes about that I'm super passionate about and I connect with, I'm down to, create the lockout where I'm not doing anything else but that project. But right now I have a couple of different layers that I chronologically want to get out of the way musically, and I'm opening up, on these next couple projects in a way that I haven't before for the staple career album.
Okay.
So that's my main focus, and I'm really in love with it. TKO I'm in love with, but that's specifically for my R&B core fan base as requested. But there's something else out after this.
Okay.
And hey, if the right project comes now and I'm connected to it, I'm down.
Well, speaking of movies, aren't they redoing the Rugrat movie? Right?
I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I'll write for it for sure.
you better.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say they better call you.
So who was? Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know the next question. I'm about
I already know what it is.
what?
But who she's dating? Who's single?
are you romantically involved with, Mya?
My damn self.
There
Mya.
you go.
Mya.
like,
You-
like Cardi was saying.
Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
Dudes is coming left and right. They shooting they shot.
Women.
Yeah,
Women coming too.
Women, yeah, because I know me and you.
I mean,
we've been out at me and you hung out at a couple adult entertainment. I can't even
Adult
strip clubs.
adult
Yeah, I'm
entertainment.
trying to strip clubs. We and the women. I mean, come on, they love Mya.
And I love them.
That's what I heard.
Really?
I love my exotic dancers.
Oh.
My entertainers.
I was
What you
speaking-
mean, Jamie?
and the ladies.
Hold on, she talking about something else.
I mean, I don't know. Do you date women too?
No,
or-
I haven't yet.
Oh, yet. Yet.
No, I haven't.
Are you open to that situation?
I've never envisioned that. I like
Okay.
men,
Right.
but I mean, things happen and people evolve or change. It could be a possibility, and I surprise myself often. But I think for me personally, knowing me, I like men. Yeah.
Okay. So all these dudes coming at you
But I
trying.
support my LGBT
Of
community.
course, yes.
All
Yes,
day.
we all do.
You just judged
All
the ball.
day.
You just judged ball last week.
Yes,
right?
I did.
Was that your first ball?
No.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
no. I have a song crafted for the ball scene.
Really?
In 2003. I wanted that to be a single back then. I've
Really?
been
Well, can you
voguing.
pass it off to me? I've been in the ballroom scene for 20
For
years.
real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the ballroom
See,
scene
we
was
could-
until
we
she
could
told
hang
me. I didn't
out.
know.
Yes. Yeah.
So you got a song. So Jamie, you can technically start. Is it dancing? Ball? What is it called?
So it's
In the ball scene. And then dancing.
So yeah,
and
I could give the song to ballroom DJs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
Voguing.
did that 15 years ago.
voguing.
and
Oh, okay.
You walk
okay, that's what it is.
runway and
Yeah.
Okay.
face. and-
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Posing.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
got very excited when I saw that post that you judged the ball. I was like, yes.
It was so lit.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sure. I'm
Talent
sure.
is oh,
But
so incredible.
But
Yeah.
look. You still didn't. We skated all
Oh,
around.
we're going back. Are we going back to the relationship thing?
Dudes just no. I know you. Dudes
I'm
are shooting
single.
a shot. Are you just like blocking shots? I mean, you giving any dudes a chance, Maya? Like I know you stay busy. You on the road.
no,
You know,
no, I'm not.
like where's somebody
entertaining.
like you? Like where we like do dudes try to holler at you in the grocery store? Like what? Like
Are we
how?
trying to pull up on her?
No,
I'm
come on.
joking.
How you know we ain't already?
gas station?
So if a dude come up, if he try to holler at you at the grocery store, you go give him a shot. If it's I mean, when I
It
say
depends on
regular
what
guy, I'm not.
his shopping cart looks like.
There you go. No meat.
Right?
All veggies.
No.
So you
I'm
would not
just
date a
kidding.
dude that's
I'm
a
just
carnivore
kidding.
that eats meat. If a dude
No,
eats
I
meat,
didn't say that. I'm
okay.
just kidding. No,
Hey,
no, I
eats
would
meat
definitely
out of the
date.
gro-
I would definitely date a person.
eats meat out of the
You know.
grocery store. Eats meat. Like,
No.
that's.
I
Just-
haven't figured out the
Jerry,
whole
get
dating.
your mind
First of
out
all, I'm not
together.
dating. That's number one. I am single. Number two, to answer your question, I haven't entertained dating in a long time because
Why is that?
I've been in a relationship and I had to leave that relationship, and I've never looked back after that because I've been on my grind. So I've just been in tunnel vision mode because I felt like
Yeah.
I lost 2 years of my life and healing through releasing my projects and going vegan and all of that stuff. So yeah, I started my vegan journey right after that. So
How
it's been
has
about
that
5
been?
years.
How has the vegan journey been?
It's
Because
been
I know
rewarding.
Jamie is vegan as well, and I tried probably for about an hour and 10 minutes, and it didn't work because I love my steaks and I love my,
Well, you just have to have the right knowledge
Yeah.
to go get the right stuff, because it's honestly seasoning at the end of the day. If
Yeah.
it doesn't taste good, you're not
it's,
going to
it's
want
interesting you said that because I had a burger, a vegan burger, whatever, and it was
It was
man,
crack.
It was man, it was
Was
good.
it?
Would
It
you have
was
the
good.
Impossible Burger?
I don't remember.
You
It
don't
was.
even
It was.
remember.
It
You
was.
don't even know.
I ate it a couple times. I'm not a big, I like steaks and turkey burgers and a good, excuse
Yeah.
me, a good burger off the grill. So,
Yeah.
but the vegan life has, because I said it earlier, you lost a lot of weight. You wasn't trying to lose weight.
I was
it's just-
overweight. I gained
No,
like
Maya,
35
you wasn't fucking
pounds.
overweight.
No, I gained 35 pounds in my relationship, and I had knee problems and foot problems. I was also anemic, eating meat.
Did you have
Yeah.
knee and foot problems? Not
Before that, no.
because you were a dancer.
But you
Mm-mm,
put
not
weight
like that.
on, like
I never had.
When you put weight on and you're not supposed to carry
Yeah.
that weight, you can feel it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was big.
Like
at
when
one
I put
time.
weight on, yeah, you can feel it in your back and
All of that.
yeah.
So you definitely would recommend the vegan lifestyle if somebody's able to afford it because it's definitely not cheap. It's definitely
That's
not
not true.
It's not true.
shit.
That's not
I
true.
cut my grocery bill pretty much a third,
Yeah.
and often in half, because I'm not buying a lot of the things that I once habitually ate, like the Krispy Kremes. Oh, the Krispy
You can't eat.
Kremes.
You're a vegan. That's
I cut out so much. Like, it's either equivalent or it's cut in half or by a third. Fresh produce is a lot cheaper than the meat and the seafood. You don't have to prepare it. Like, I'm saving time. I'm saving medication. Like, I don't take any medicine. I don't get sick. So there's been a lot that I've learned about my body and how it works and what it responds to. And so my starter guide addresses all that because I get asked those questions often. And just based on personal experience, it works for me. My anemia, just being a vegan, reversed completely, like
Mine too.
zero, no borderline anemic anymore, because I'm consuming more iron-rich foods, and I wasn't before, even when I was eating meat, and so that was shocking to me,
Yeah.
because you're taught you have to have this, you have to have that. Osteopenia is the earlier signs of osteoporosis, which my doctor said I had like years ago,
Really?
completely
In your
reversed
30s?
because I cut out milk, which we're told is calcium
Yeah.
or strengthens our bones, and that's gone now.
I hate
So
milk. It's nasty.
I'm confused and I'm upset.
I eat a lot of cheese, dairy products.
I'm
like it's-
angry.
Yeah.
Because of this information that's not true, just to
Right.
market to people stuff that's unhealthy. And I'm determined to just break the chains in my family, because my family is suffering from so many ailments like breast cancer or colon cancer, diabetes, heart
And
disease,
a lot of that
like
is
high
our
cholesterol.
diet. Yeah.
And it's the diet, and I want to make sure before I have kids, after I'm not single anymore.
So you do want kids?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when the time is right, if that happens, I want to be armed and prepared, and then arm our communities.
Right.
Yes.
Well, what you are doing, because people are following you and they're doing these challenges. You do the challenge. How often do you do the?
Every month.
Okay.
Every month.
What challenge is this?
They are the quarterly vegan challenges, and that consists of veganism, raw veganism, alkaline vegan, and or juicing. You can choose whichever one you want, but I'm there to assist.
And how long do you have to do it for?
Well, we started out with 7 days in the first quarter per month,
Okay.
and then we advanced to 14 days in the second quarter per month. We're in the third quarter as of July, 21 days a month. And by the time we get to October, November, December, we're doing 28 days a month. So you'll reach your goal. Your goal will happen over time. So you give yourself, baby steps. Progress,
so
not perfection.
Can I do a Jerry Clark a minute? Can I do 7 hours and then 4,
you could do whatever you
and then
want.
14 hours?
But that's
and
dope
21?
because you're
something
basically
See.
you're basically baby step.
Yeah.
Teaching people baby steps how to
Yeah.
become vegan
And that's how I
instead
did.
of cold turkey.
That's exactly
Yeah.
how I got to do it. I would never recommend just jumping in.
Well, I did because
Yeah.
I was tired and sick of
Yeah.
the
In
way
order
I,
to
the way I felt. It was just a whole different feeling.
All right, circling back. All that
sorry.
vegan. Circling back to the
Right.
music.
'Cause I was about to go right.
Circling back to the music. When you get who gave you that code? Was it Missy? I'm going back. I'm thinking back, Mya. And excuse me, Mya, but I'm thinking about the outfit you had on when y'all used to perform Lady Marmalade. So it's just
Yes.
that outfit you had on.
That outfit bruised us. Like we had bruises on our bodies after that.
Really?
The corsets,
Oh, the
Really?
corsets.
they were so tight. And we had
Really?
to dance for hours in that, different
Oh.
angles and all that. Oh my
Who made that call to
goodness.
you to get you on that song? Was it Missy?
It was actually an Interscope soundtrack. So I had, an advantage being an Interscope
Of course.
artist. So Jimmy Iovine is responsible for putting me on that song.
Dope.
And that just, with you, Christina, all y'all, that was just, how was that experience working with all those super talented females?
Right.
I'm sure that
Great. It
Was
was
it-
awesome.
How
it
was
was
the energy?
you. I don't know, Mya.
It
That's
was.
it.
No,
Okay,
because
okay. I
had
thought it wasn't no. It wasn't. It don't seem like it was no catty
no,
shit
it
involved.
wasn't. That's what people want.
Yeah,
Because it's
Right.
interesting.
No,
that
it looked
it's
like all the energy
entertainment.
you all had. And I'm thinking back, it didn't even seem like
We
it was
were
no
so
catty shit.
happy.
Yeah.
We were so happy to just be working together. I had worked with so many guys in my career by that time, hardcore rappers,
Mm-hmm.
and this was refreshing because I
Yeah.
never really got to work in the studio with Missy, even though she produced stuff on my albums. I never had like a one-on-one experience, but this was different because she was involved. She was in the studio. She was a part of the production and in the rehearsals for Lady Marmalade, on the video set, and then the girls too. They're all in their own individual lanes and
Right.
like careers established.
So who were you closest to on set, or like when you were in the process of making it? Who was like your?
Yeah, well, Pink and I had gone back to Philly. Like, we knew each other when we were 16 years old because we
Oh,
were
wow.
working
She-
with the same production camp
Okay.
in
'Cause you from
Philadelphia.
DC, she from Philly.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I would be taking the train up to Philly and back and forth to DC or Maryland University. And Pink was known as Alicia in my earlier years. So we had met a couple times in passing, and so we were probably the closest because of that. And then she also ended up writing a song on the next album that followed that project, Lady Marmalade.
Pink is super talented too.
Take a Picture was that song.
Yeah.
So, and then Christina came out to support one of my shows. I went to one of hers. Missy and
Nice.
I worked after that, and then Lil Kim and I had dinner in New York a couple years ago. So I mean, we all
Interesting.
talked.
Love the womanhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's actually great.
Love it.
Now, when you're in the studio, you mentioned with all these rappers you're in the studio working with. I know a lot of these cats they trying to push up. They trying to get some ass.
The thing is that I didn't even record with them in the studio. Like I never got to work with
Mya, these
Jada.
No.
No, like
So it was recorded
it's the
separately?
video, yeah, because we all move. We all have our careers.
So do you go ahead?
I've never been in the studio with Beanie Man, with Jay-Z, with Jadakiss, Cisco and I. Yeah, for sure. Who else did I collaborate with?
Cisco ain't try to holler at you, did he?
Praz was there with Wyclef because Wyclef was the producer.
Cisco ain't try to holler at you, did he?
Of course he did. Yeah.
Did he ask to see that thong?
A lot of people try to holler, but nah.
Did
Didn't go
Jay-Z
down
try to
like
holler?
that. Probably, but I had a boyfriend, and I wasn't checking for that. So,
Do you get tired of hearing about those Mya Jay-Z rumors from years ago?
it's hilarious. It's funny.
I was gonna
and
say, nah, I mean, and it
never
just,
happened.
it
Never
just
went down.
And it was so crazy. It like pops up just out the blue, and I'm
Well,
like,
I think everybody wanted that to happen because the video was so cute. It was a classic hip hop record. It was a dope song. It's still a classic to
Yes,
this
it
day.
is.
And that's the look that they
Of course.
fantasized about because the record was so hard. You know, the energy was great. The Carolina jersey dress, like all of that. The backstage
damn,
thug.
I forgot
like,
about
that
that
Carolina
the
dress.
backstage mixtape.
Wear that
DJ
dress. You still got
Clue.
that dress?
I do. I do.
Why you didn't wear that today?
Because you got it 60 degrees in here.
No, that's
yeah.
what. Is that why you bundled up? All
Yeah, that's
oh,
probably why.
you cold now, Mya?
I'm freezing.
So next time she comes back to the StoryTime with Legendary Jay, she says, Mya, are you wearing a North Carolina dress?
But speaking of, he said all the rumors with you and Jay-Z.
Oh,
So,
boy.
just as an artist, there's always a lot of rumors, a lot of talk.
Always.
Well,
So
that's gonna
how do you
happen.
stay grounded? Like,
That's
how do you?
what you sign up for? First of all,
So that's the thing is like when you see rumors, like what's your first reaction? Like, oh shit again, or
I
it's
don't even
just-
care at this point.
I know
anymore.
that's right.
Well, no,
You
I'm saying
can't-
back then, like when you were younger, and
People have been talking since Cisco and I dropped. Like,
Yeah.
I already knew that was going to happen because that was the basis of the song. The
Right.
basis of the songs
Right.
are always, oh, girls, dumb sugar. Like,
Yeah.
the guy trying to holler at the girl and get the best of the girl. You know,
Right.
the cat and mouse game.
Always.
So that's what it was. And the natural thing to do is assume or want that to happen. So people's fantasies of it being a reality is a part of being an entertainer.
Right.
And they put it on you, they hold it over your head, but the guy gets praised, the girl gets criticized. We live in a society that, hey, that's how it's shaped.
right.
And it's
That-
fucked up.
It's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's fucked up.
It never really bothered me
That's what's up.
because I'm not that girl, first
Right.
of all. And I I had a whole life way before I stepped into like the music game.
Yeah.
Like I was such a tomboy in tap battle circles, like battling Savion Glover and Gregory Hines toe to
Yes.
toe. Like I get the whole outer shell and what that brings. But I seen it happen to girls.
You still can get down with the tap.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't
You?
stop dancing. Yeah, I can get down.
Okay.
But I knew who I was. And I'm glad that I had those experiences before I stepped into the music game because I was solid.
Right.
And I knew that the mini skirts and the sex kitten or just coming of age and what that would bring as a female, because I seen it happen to girls who were voluptuous in high school. They would get called all kinds of names because they developed faster.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you are speaking about being comfortable, about the opposite sex in your music and you're young and you're seen next to a rapper or an athlete or just the opposite sex, people are going to run with it and
Right.
say what the hell they want to say. And so it never really bothered me. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well, you seem pretty grounded, which is
Very
amazing.
much so.
So what's a piece of advice that you would give to these up and coming young women artists?
Know who you are. Like, get into who you are. It takes time, but focus on a skill set. That will carry
That's not twerking.
that. No, it can be twerking because
Okay.
I respect twerkers.
Oh.
'Cause you twerk.
I do all of it.
Yeah, I know.
And I appreciate the female body and how it works.
Me too.
Like
A tap
whatever
dancing
you do,
twerker.
Yeah.
whatever
Whoa.
you,
That's
whatever
shit.
you do, just be great at it.
Yeah.
And focus on skill sets that will take care of you, take care of your family, and don't be afraid to switch up, to learn, to grow. But hey, things are going to come at you. People are always going to have something to say, regardless of what you
Always.
do. So whatever you do, just make sure you're enjoying yourself, have a good time, and live your life to the fullest, and call it a day.
What you want your legacy to be? when it's all said. And
I don't really focus on that.
I know you don't.
I don't really focus on my legacy. I just want
because you still writing
to
the
leave
story.
good energy behind. You know, I don't really care about the name Mya or anything like that. I just want my spirit to be at peace and for people to take away maybe an example.
You might be my spirit
strength.
animal.
I love it.
You might be my spirit animal.
And leave a good archive of stuff that's healing and increases the vibration. That's really it. It's not about me at the end of the day. I don't get caught up in that. I do love what I do. I do realize that sometimes you got to put that face on and turn up for the squad and the team and the kids.
And you turn up. When you turn up,
I turn up.
She turns up.
That's my therapy and my release.
You turn up. And you know what's so funny is I was just talking to somebody recently, and they was, you know, talking about, oh, she's so pretty, she's so fly, and they didn't say she probably funny acting, and I cut them off. I was like, you know, but the crazy thing is, she the coolest motherfucker that you will ever meet. Like, hanging out, we can talk shit, talk sports, go look at some ass in the strip club. You know, just not being, but just across the board. So all those dudes out there, if y'all trying to, she's multifaceted, and she's, hey, bring your A game.
Well, she just said she used to be a tomboy, so I mean,
bring your A game. Bring your A game. But before we get out of here, you say I'm not even gonna let you talk. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
As usual.
Damn. Before we get out of here, you have got to plug this phenomenal album that's out.
Okay.
Because I love it.
Well,
I love it. I mean, and I mean, not to plug it, that sound, but go get it. Shit, go get the motherfucker. Go listen to it. Go ahead. I'm talking too much now. I didn't let you talk. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, everybody that wants to know where the music is, follow me at Mya Planet 9 on social media. My website is myamya.com. Inside the shop, we have some brand new projects. The new TKO album is out right now on CD inside the shop on my website, but it's also available everywhere on world digital outlets, Amazon, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Apple Music, Beatport, all that.
Run it down.
And
I love it.
It's the 9th independent project, 13th overall studio project, and 9th album of mine.
Wow.
And shout out to the executive producer with me, my guy Mars, talented musicians, all of the producers that worked on this, DJ Hardwork out of Atlanta, Carlos, Los the Maestro McKinney, and all of the musicians and songwriters and people that rode with me as an independent artist. It's been a beautiful journey, and shout out to the fans. Happy 20th anniversary. We got more music on the way. Brand new Damage video out
that
right
Ready
now.
For Whatever is my joint.
Yeah.
That's my joint, Mya.
Thank you.
That's my look at you. Don't blush, man. Come on, we don't do.
I'm glad you have a joint.
That's my. I mean, you know, over the years we've been in the studio and you've played me, Jerry. What you think about this? What you think? That Ready for Whatever. That's my. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. So, as you see, it's time for us to get up out of here. Mya has stopped in on this wonderful Wednesday with us on Storytime with Legendary Jerry. Before we sign off, of course, every episode we dedicate to two people. My father, the late, great Mr. Thomas Tyrone Clark. He passed back in 2016. Love you, Dad. Miss you. And to my friend, homie, Mr. Shakir Stewart, we dedicate this episode with the beautiful Mya, Miss Jamie Page. Mya, give them all of your social media handles. I know you did. Do it again. Is it at Mya Planet, the number 9? Mm-hmm. Is that on everything? Is that on Instagram, Twitter?
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Mya Planet 9, and that is the number 9. Uh-huh.
And I am
follow her, support.
Yes,
buy
please.
the album, download the album.
Yes, yes. And I am Big Jerry Clark. That is all my social media handles, and Jamie will give hers.
Miss Jamie Page on Instagram and Twitter.
And let me tell y'all something. Please, I'm gonna tell you to go subscribe to the YouTube channel Legendary Jerry Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Legendary Jerry Podcast. Check us out, legendaryjerrypodcast.com. All that. Check us out. We signing off. We got to get up out of here. Mya, she all over the country, all over the world, promoting this album, new videos, everything. Thank you, Mya. We love you.
Yes, thank you so much.
We will see you next Wednesday. Storytime with Legendary Jerry. We are signing off.